Hello, traders, and Merry Christmas to all. So this week's weekend update is going to be a little bit shorter just because I've got family events, things like that to get to, and had a lot of people in for the weekend, etc. But real quickly, so that rut trade did close out, hit the equity curve again. We're now right at about 12.5. which is just a hair under 100%, given that our maximum investable money per the way I structured the service last year was about $12,500 if we were carrying a full load of positions. So anyhow, decent return, but this hit in the equity curve here recently is certainly problematic. And one of the things I'm going to be working to do going forward is trying to make sure that I get trades closed out sooner as opposed to later, not ending up with some of these things like I ended up with rut, carrying it all the way to expiration, and hoping that we end up on the right side of that trade at expiration. So these are the trades that are currently open. Got, of course, the Google trade that is open. This is the wheel, and it's chunking along just fine. This trade is doing just fine. Again, we're kind of in an up-moving market right now, so we need to adjust our strategies a little bit. We need to adjust our P&L expectations a little bit. Going to end up in trades more like this, trades that are broken wing butterflies that have no upside risk on them, or maybe we'll add some upside risk in certain instances, but keep that upside risk small. That's because right now we are in a heavy, hard, fast-moving uptrend. So that's the situation here on this trade. This trade will end up adjusting this week. Maybe this week, maybe next week. We'll see how the week plays out. Again, this week I'm expecting a pretty quiet 4-day week. And so this trade, we may adjust the wings to, bringing in a little more theta, a little more, raise this right wing a little bit. And then we have this SPY trade, which is still kind of a remnant of when I was capping the upside, expecting the market to not be in full-on bull mode. So kind of see how this plays out this week. But again, expecting a pretty quiet week. Probably won't put on a new trade this week. But may end up adjusting. Maybe this one is probably my only real expectation this week, unless there's some dramatic down move in the market. Then that may impact some of these a little bit. May give us the opportunity to put on a new trade with a higher in a higher volatility environment, so which is always a good scenario for a delta neutral options traders. So let's just take a look at our markets here and see. If we take a look at the rut, we can see that of course it had this massive down move, then massive up move with some significant jumps and gaps. I mean, these are really unprecedented moves in the rut when you have a gap like this from 1708 up to 1740, and then it runs from there. And then here opened, ran, open, ran, and then gapped and ran. So we are clipping new highs here, certainly for the year. Let's just take a look in rut. So in rut, we are right in a resistance area. But again, the markets haven't been paying a lot of attention to resistance areas recently. But I would expect at least a little bit of slowing down or chopping in the rut around this particular location. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, it did break out above this red bar, which is around the 2007 mark. And so it is a bullish sign that it has broken above that. But it did do that on Friday, which was a very light volume day. So let's look at SPX. SPX, we are at or just shy of our all-time high of 4,800. So we're at 47, 48. 47.48, all-time high here was right around 48.21. So we're about 50 points shy of an all-time high. Again, very strong bullish market trend here. So are we overbought a little bit? I would say probably yes. Did we experience the Santa Claus rally, which does continue through the end of the year? I would say yes. But I also would expect a little bit of slowing in the market around this stage. What I would expect was a little bit of slowing around this 4,800 mark, maybe some chop sideways. Ultimately, over the next couple weeks, probably a little bit of a pullback down to 4,600, and then probably breaking through this 4,800 mark. But I do think there probably needs to be a little bit of what we call backing and filling first, where the market needs to pull back, consolidate a little bit, and then is likely to make new highs from there. So that would be kind of my expectation from a technical standpoint in the market. So as a result of that, the game plan, what I'm going to be looking to do, again, this week, I'm hoping to just let the market chop sideways, let the positions decay a little bit. If I do get a pullback, I am going to be looking to add in some broken wing butterflies when we might get a little bit higher volatility, so I'd get a little more premium in them, or I'd be able to purchase those butterflies for a lower price with a better reward to risk ratio. That's ideal for those types of trades. And again, try to put those on with little to no upside risk, so that if we end up in that breakout scenario, we're not getting, hammered on some of these trades that were hurt when we had these massive upside breakouts. So that's going to be the objective there. Those of you that are currently part of the alert service, please do me a favor here. I did send out a survey to all of you. I am going to be resending the survey to a wider group here soon, but the survey is about the service. I've done the service for slightly over a year now, and I'm really interested in people's feedback as to what they feel has worked well, what things do they think could, of course, be done a little bit better. I ask questions in there about the types of trades we're doing, the sizing of the trades, those sorts of things. And I may look at making some adjustments here as we start the new year based on that feedback. So please take about 3 minutes or so, maybe 5 minutes. Most of the feedback is multiple choice, so you can kind of click through it fairly quickly in most cases. But that feedback is really going to help me a lot. Once I do get that feedback, I'll share it in a video so that everyone can see kind of what the thoughts or the summary was that other people provided to me. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great holiday week here. Looking forward to starting the new year. But again, I am expecting this week to be a pretty quiet week. If we do get a decent pullback with some higher volatility, I will likely add a new trade, but not sure I'll be doing much beyond that this coming week. So take care, everyone. We'll see you, as the need arises during the week or the following week.